Hi everyone, it's the Musicreal. My name's Nicola Burton. I'm from Music Means Business. I have the Pushy team with me, Mark, Michael and Manny. And our very special guest today is a man from the Darwin Turf Club. So the CEO from the Darwin Turf Club. We've got Mr. Brad Morgan. Brad, it's very nice to see you today.
Thanks, Nikki. Nice to see you guys as well.
Well, you are, I guess you're up in the Northern Territory. It's quite a different situation to how it is in Queensland. So I guess we'd like to hear from you what it was like when you first had to close the doors and go into lockdown in March. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a shock, the same it was to everybody. We didn't see it coming. And we coped with it like everyone else did, I guess, to a very best ability. Now, we're a little bit different here at the Darwin Turf Club. We've got a lot of things happening in the way of entertainment. Our major event, I suppose, is the horse racing component, and we're relatively lucky that horse racing in Australia was able to continue during these times. So we had regular events, or weekly events that were held quite eerily with no crowd. So the horse racing continued behind closed doors. We couldn't offer any hospitality to our guests or sponsors or owners of the race of the horses. So effectively, we just had jockeys and horses, the stewards, at a race day. So it was quite eerie, and we still needed to maintain all of our social distancing and all of our other hygiene practices during that time to ensure horse racing could continue. So it was quite, again, different to see jockeys and trainers keeping 1.5 metres after an event where they may have won tens of thousands of dollars. There's no slapping on backs or handshakes. It's quite different. And Darwin Turf Club, as you know, just a bit of background, we hold a annual event here, the Darwin Cup Carnival, where we would get crowds over that period of over 150 to 200,000 people over that period, culminating in the Cup Carnival itself, where we have different forms of entertainment, typically interstate or international acts. Our gala ball, we have an outdoor black tie event where we've had numbers up to 4,000, and we had entertainment wrapped around that. So that is all up in the air in itself. So it's been interesting times, as I'm sure it has been for everybody else in Queensland.
Well, you haven't had as many cases as we have, had you? You've been relatively...
No, we're relatively lucky. As soon as the Chief Minister made the decision to close the borders, that effectively stopped any transmission or any cases, positive cases at all. Any positive case in the Northern Territory was from an interstate or international traveller.
Yeah.
So on June 5, we will be able to reopen our doors, clubs, pubs and nightclubs. And we're just getting some interpretation around what we can do and how we can operate. It appears as if we'll still need to enforce the social distancing. We have a supercar event the week after our major event. So it'll be interesting to see how the different bodies carry out these major events with social distancing in practice.
Absolutely. Wow. Manny, I'm sure you've got some questions for Brad.
I've probably got 101 questions, Brad. You had an illustrious, career in managing some of the most salient pubs and casinos in Australia. You find your way in Darwin and obviously in a surreal situation. I guess my curiosity more so is that I guess the Northern Territory has been a bit more progressive than what the southern states are in terms of lockdowns. So obviously you're opening up probably a little bit earlier than what we're opening up here in the southern states. But how do you foresee events happening in the future? Whether it's the ball or whether you're utilising live entertainment in your venues, can you foresee that there will still be social distancing? I mean, obviously all our hygiene practices have to be, unilateral throughout Australia. But in terms of, you've got some large capacities there, So I guess you're going to see some limits on the numbers of people coming into, into horse racing, being, like entertained. How do you foresee that's going to look like post-COVID? Because there'll be huge areas and, well, like, I guess, limited numbers. And how does that impact you?
It will be. Yeah, there's all sorts of things to take into consideration, Manny. I think when we come out of this, I think the economic position of most people will dictate what their spending habits will be. I think, well, as you'd be aware, the employment rate throughout Australia is not far away from double digits.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the leisure spend of people will come under scrutiny. So I think we'll see some limited numbers until people start to recover financially from what they've gone through. We're relatively lucky in the Northern Territory is that, as the territory lifestyle is, we do have a lot of outdoor activities. That said, we have a limited time of the year to enact upon them, which is our dry season, which is where we are at the moment.
Wow.
So our dry season typically starts April, May, and goes through till September. And then we start to get into that terrible build-up period where it's humid and anyway, there's likely to be more rain. So while we did have a little bit of rain this morning, actually, which is unique, over that period of time, all these outdoor events happen. So we need to compete with a lot of outdoor events, and people pack these events in over that short period of time. And typically they are outdoors. So in listening to the health experts, we seem to have greater capacity to hold an outdoor event than we do indoors. So hence the increased numbers outdoors. And we can enforce that 1.5 metres social distancing. But it'll be difficult because I think human nature it's difficult.
Because you go out to
change.
Yeah, you go out to connect with people. So it's really hard when you're having a good time and you're having a few drinks.
Correct.
To maintain that distance. So,
yeah. And even in sporting events, that's a difficult thing. You only got to watch the NRL or the AFL, and the supporters, they love a good hug and a shoulder slap.
That's not happening.
So to change those habits is going to be very difficult. So yeah, we're going to change the way we conduct ourselves and personal hygiene, and it's going to be really interesting over the next 12 months to see how we can do that and still maintain these high level of standards that the health experts are asking us to adhere to. We just got news today that in the gaming industry in the Northern Territory, they will allow casinos to operate as long as there's a screen put between each machines.
Wow.
And that'll probably transfer into...
What a cost.
More cost.
There is a cost to the business. A lot of the operators here are saying they're questioning whether they'll even open on June the 5. Particularly the larger ones, just to turn the lights on and the air conditioning, and the operational cost is significant. Particularly indoor events, when they have to maintain that 1.5 metres, they're not confident they can get the maximum revenue in to generate those operational costs. So there's some hard decisions being made right now, I would suggest.
It's really hard to imagine because these businesses have suffered such incredible losses, and moving forward, it's not going to be as simple as just opening the doors. There's so much more.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Just when you
there's a lot of things to consider moving forward, how we can, if we can do business. The tourism industry, Northern Territory is relying on the tourism industry, as is Queensland, as you guys are aware. So, until the international borders are open, we are going to struggle. Interstate borders similarly. So we rely, for example, we will hold a ball this year. We just don't know what our numbers will be. But who's going to be the entertainment? Where are we going to get them from? Are they going to be local? Because typically we would rely on interstate entertainment to maintain a level of entertainment, I guess. That's come to be expected of the ball.
Absolutely. So it looks like, I guess, really from a price standpoint, it would have to be really local because for you to actually, you know,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah, with
Yeah,
borders closed.
borders are closed. People have to isolate if they come to the territory. You know, the Darwin Gala Ball ticket price is $425 a head.
wow.
Years gone past, so clearly this year we're considering what shape that'll take, what we can charge. It's going to be dependent upon a lot of
Be
things.
very different. Mark.
Brad, I suppose my question would come from, you know, the average punter side of things. Like moving forward now that the doors are slowly opening again and, you know, we're getting back to some semblance of normality, what can the average punter do to help out the venues and get them back on the right track?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? We rely on people to comply, be complicit, and just in my own experiences from seeing people, you know, families in outdoor events, we've still got large gatherings happening. To ask a punter at a nightclub to stay 1.5 metres away from people is going to be exceptionally difficult. I think at the end of the day, we have to be seen to be trying. If a venue can put in the measures, the increased hygiene practices, the appropriate signage, as long as venues can be seen to be doing the right thing, and then we rely on our patrons to assist. I think that's the most important thing, I guess. It's exceptionally difficult to change patron behaviour in a short period of time. I think it's going to take a period of time to enable, and particularly the younger people that we're trying to attract. I think in a lot of ways, this particular pandemic, I think they may be of the view that it doesn't necessarily impact on them. So they're a little bit more relaxed when it comes to following these safer practices.
Wow. Michael, there's a lot of questions here.
Yeah. I got a very important question. Got any tips on the horse races coming up?
Yeah, I have, mate. Hang on your money. The more you bet, the more you win.
True that.
If you could just send me through some names of horses to watch out, well, that'd be really great.
There's 4, number 3. Yeah.
Well, the first time I went to Darwin was in May, and I tell you what, it was the most spectacular place I've ever been in May. It's just beautiful. And then I was there last year in early November, and my goodness, what a difference. You know, it's so incredibly hot and everything's just sweating. So really your time, like you said, is April to September. So the most important thing, I guess, moving forward is to get people, you know, once the borders open, get up there and, you know, go and explore the most amazing venues in Australia, you know, up in Northern Territory and Darwin. It's just beautiful. So we wish you all the very best with everything, Brad. I know it's a slow road, but, you know, you've had the experience to be able to crack this and to make it work. So we're looking forward to when Manny and I can actually get up there and come and visit you. Hopefully. It'll probably be, I reckon, by the time it's open, it'll be December and we'll be sweating everywhere, but that's fine.
Stay away in December. But anyway, look, there's plenty to do in the territory, as you said, all year round. It's a unique place. I call it the last frontier.
Yeah.
It's certainly a different environment, but one that if people haven't done yet, I'd certainly encourage them to get up here and have a look.
I'm hoping that tourism is actually going to help you guys recover as well too, because it is one place everyone needs to visit. Now that we won't necessarily be going overseas, this is the place to go. Yeah. So Brad,
that or a cruise, one of the two.
Thank you. Thank you so much for talking to us, Brad. Good luck with everything, and we'll talk to you.
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Cheers.